This is a video for UWS Unit Movement and Skill Development, Assessment 1. My name is Marcus Wynn and my student number is 17648989. This video is on the sport of golf and will compare different aspects of skill in a standard golf swing. The comparison will be between a novice and pro. The novice will be on the left video screen marked with N, and the professional will be on the right video screen marked with P. So first off, let's just watch the golf swings done in normal speed, and then we will go on to analyse these at a slower speed. First off, they walk up to the ball. The amateur will take his shot first, then followed by the professional. Okay, now before I move on, I would just like to say that the professional on the right, the ball that he hit went straight, made good distance and landed in the centre of the fairway and was a very good shot. The novice on the left, he pulled the ball to the left, didn't get very good distance and landed in not where he wanted it to. Okay, now as we rewind the videos back to the initial beginning. Okay, now first I'll play the professional as he walks up to the ball. Now first thing I notice with the professional is he is looking directly where he wants to hit the ball, where he wants that ball to go. He continues to look to where he wants as he walks up to his ball before he makes his stance, as to show his mentality that he is already in the mind frame of looking to where he wants that ball to go. Whereas we look at the novice, and straight away he's looking at the ball, concentrating more on just hitting that ball than where he wanted the ball to go. As we clear the page now, another thing I would like to point out is the ball and the club face. As the professional walks up to take his shot, he gets the head of the club face, and he places it directly behind that ball where he wants that club face to come in contact with the ball. And then as we see, once he gets that, he positions himself to where that club is, and makes his stance. Where if we look at where the novice is, he walks up behind the ball, positions himself, and then puts the club face down behind that ball, around 2 inches behind the ball as well, not directly on that ball. Okay, we'll clear now. Now as we watch, the professional sets himself up for the shot, has another look to make sure he is happy with his positioning, and we'll get to the point before initial swing, so we'll leave it there. Same with the amateur, he also takes a look up and then gets himself positioned as well, so we'll freeze them both there. Now, first thing we'll look at is positioning of the body to the ball. As we can see here, both feet pointed down. The ball is directly in the middle of both feet. With the novice, you can see here's the left foot here, and the ball is directly in line with that left foot, the front foot, which generally you want that ball in this sort of area where in between the body. You want your head directly over the ball. Okay, we'll clear that up now. Now with feet positioning, you can see the pro has his feet about shoulder length apart, which is good, which is where you want your feet. And you also can see that his head is directly over that ball. Now if we look at the novice, his feet are also shoulder length apart, not too bad. And his head, well, it is looking down, it is in the center, but it's not directly over that ball. Now as we clear that up, we also look at the positioning of the feet. Now if we look at both tips of the feet of the professional are in line to where he wants to hit that ball. So he wants to hit that ball straight, and his feet are in line with that straight line. And if we draw a line from his head down with that ball, we can see it is around a 90-degree angle in there. Where if we look at the amateur, we can see that his front left foot is actually behind a little bit from his rear right, which is kind of giving a bit more of an angle to his head and his feet and the ball, which generally will, that is why he will pull the ball out towards the left, which he has done. Another quick thing, just as to positioning of the ball, as we see, as the professional will take his swing, as the club head comes through, it will make initial contact with the ball here and then follow through, which will hit the ball and will lift and raise the ball on a 45-degree angle, which will give him good distance. As the ball is further forward here for the amateur, as his club comes through, it should make contact here, but doesn't, and as he lifts the club, it then will make contact, which will generally lift the ball higher, which means he won't get that initial drive forward which he wants, but he will get the lift up here, and the ball won't go as far. Okay, so now we'll play it a bit further to see where they are at in their stance. On halfway through their pullback, key aspects we can see is that the left arm of the professional is straight, the left leg of the professional is straight, and his head is directly over the ball still. Whereas if we look at the arm of the novice, there is a slight bend, and also the left leg has a slight bend, and his head is not positioned over the ball. Now, as we clear that up, one thing we can see which is good, they are both looking at the ball, which you need to do throughout the entire swing. Another thing we do notice with the novice though is right rear foot is actually starting to come off the ground, where if we look at the professional's feet are stationary, planted firmly on that ground. Okay, now as we get into just the beginning, the top part of the swing, we'll freeze it there. Okay, first thing we see is professional's left arm still dead straight, his right rear leg still straight. Another thing we can see is, yes, his head is still directly over the ball, and as we clear that up, we can see that he is still looking directly at that ball. With the novice, arm is bent and left leg is still bent. Right leg on both of them, right leg is bent. The left leg at the front of them is bent, but that is okay. You need that in a swing. You need to have that bent. Now, another thing we notice is that both feet of the novice are off the ground, moving, and the professional's feet are still planted firmly on the ground. As we look towards this swing, we can see the body structure of the novice is at a lean, where the professional is still straight, showing that in the swing, the professional from the hips has pivoted in the hips rather than the body, where in the novice we can see that the pivot has come throughout the entire body, as we see here from the initial start of the swing, as the whole body pivots back, where if we look from the professional, he only pivots from the hip. Okay, and just finally on this part of the swing, one thing you notice is the line of the shoulders for the professional is directly nearly in line with that ball. We could probably do that better, straight in line with that ball where the shoulders are pointing. Where if we look at the novice, his shoulders are actually pointing out the front a lot more and are not in line with that ball, which will generally cause a hook or a pull, which is what has happened. Okay, we'll clear that now. As we get into the actual hitting part of the swing, we'll freeze it. We'll go back to there. And same there. Once again, just wanted to point out that the left arm, well, it's pretty straight for the novice. It's got a slight bend, but it is 100% straight for the professional. That is key in a golf swing. Your left arm needs to be straight throughout the entire swing. as we make initial contact with the ball, we can see where the contact is being made. Once, like I said, it is hit the ball at the point where it is going to send that ball directly at a 45-degree angle for the professional. And with the novice, you can see the position. He is on his upswing, so the ball is going to get lifted higher, therefore not get as further as distance. One key thing is, though, they are still looking at the ball in their swing. And also to head is still over that ball in the swing for the pro. Also, shoulders and feet are still all in line. Now, as we reach the final part of our swing, we notice here for both the novice and the professional that their feet are starting to lift, and the rear foot, the right rear foot, is starting to pivot and turn towards the hole towards where they want the ball to go. As we clear that, as we get into the final part of the swing, that is how they've end up. They both end up generally the same, having the rear foot pivoting, and the front foot also is allowed to lift off the ground a little. That is the differences in the key aspects of a golf swing. Like I said, the professional, his ball went where it wanted it to go, and the novice didn't. And yeah, I hope this video has been helpful and good for you. Thank you.